I do know, from my brief encounters and knowledge of him, he's 100 times harder than he is on TV. I mean, Trump is he's hard.
In business.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, in politics. He's thrown out some very high-profile, well thought of people out of his administration.
Mad Dog Mattis.
Mad Dog Mattis.
Threw him out.
General Kelly and some others.
What do you make of all that?
Well, I probably wouldn't have thrown out Mattis and Kelly, but I mean, it's either his way or the highway, and but he's not always right. But he's been right about a lot of things because he's done away with 40 or 50% of the bureaucracy of getting things done in Washington. That fourth member that he put on the Supreme Court. The most little guy that works in a gas station doesn't understand what that means. We are going to be conservative votes from the Supreme Court for the next 30 or 40 years. And when Ginsburg either dies or retires, that means they're going to have a 5-3. We are going to be conservative down the line for 50 fucking years. No matter what the Democrats do, no matter how much they cry, he knows where it counts. And then the women that said that Kavanaugh raped them and all that shit, they've now, all three have come back forward and said, oh, one said, I just did it because I didn't like him, I didn't want him to be in there. And the two others say it was a lie.
Even the one that testified in
Correct, she lied. She now says,
no.
And, yes, she perjured herself. But she went in on a
that was a very strange and fascinating live thing to watch. What was happening there? What do we see with all of this?
The people on the Hill that are on the Democratic side realized that if Kavanaugh got in, Trump was going to be one step closer to totally dictating policy for the next 40 years.
Right.
And he got in, and then the next guy got in. I mean, really, the Democrats are dead in the water. And if they get, when Ginsburg, and I hope she lives a long life, but when Ginsburg has to retire or, God forbid, dies, Trump will consider his presidency a success.
Okay. Does he get reelected next year?
Yep. And a landslide.
Landslide.
The Democrats are giving it to him. You Democratic fucking weenies, you're giving it to him on a platter.
Why?
They've got 21 people running against him. They've got the guy from Starbucks running against him.
Yeah.
Bloomberg pulled out, I'm told.
Yes.
Everybody in the dog running against him.
Got some London Real guests that are running against him.
Yeah, and it just makes it easier for Trump. It just makes it easier because everybody's in disarray. Although there's one Republican, I forget his name, that says he's going to run against Trump.
Yeah.
That won't go anyplace.
It won't happen. All right,
no.
so Trump
and
gets...
even Biden says, we'll see what Biden does.
What does Trump show us? Because everybody throws their arms up and says, look at this guy. You know, he's got no class, he's lies, all these things, and yet he's our leader.
Because he is atypical, he's a microcosm of the populace of America. Everybody lies a little. They call it white lies.
Right.
They're so sick and tired.
He's the blue car guy.
Okay, he is taking advantage of it.
Right.
And they forget that he's a billionaire, and whether he started with 100 million or a million or whatever he started with, they've forgotten all that. Because he's done, he's done most of the things that he promised he's been able to do. And he's going to get that fucking wall done by hook or by crook.
The wall's just a symbol of him doing what he said he's going to do.
Correct.
And, you can argue there already is a wall or maybe there will be a wall. Now it's just a symbol of him saying what he's going to do.
Well, and right now, people like, even though he's not a regular Joe like a welder or a truck driver, but he talks in words that you can understand.